remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last, I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
I'm building my kingdom with you who voluntarily receive me. Behold, I stand at your door and I knock. Some of you are sitting back in there, got your door all locked up, hollering out, who is it? I don't mind telling you, Yahweh been Yahweh. And I'm calling out and saying, there's a terrible storm, it's a severe storm headed your way. And it's called the fall of Satan. And this is the time of Jacob's trouble.
The season of the Feast of Tabernacles is upon us. Get ready. The Day of Atonement is all about becoming at one with Yahweh. The Day of Atonement is the day appointed for a yearly perfect expiation for all the sins and uncleanliness and uncleanness that has taken place during the year. The Day of Atonement is a most solemn expression of faith and worship developed by Yahweh, who is the merciful, and as a medium of beneficence and love. The Day of Atonement is a tremendous moment of renewal that permeates all Israel and unites us in a solemn joy. And of course, the Day of Atonement is not a time where we run around with a festive attitude, but a repentant mind. Although it is a repentant period, Yahweh lets us know that we are not to walk around with a face of sadness. For this is also a period of no food from sundown Saturday until sundown Sunday. 24 hours of no food in any manner. Some people, when they know the Day of Atonement is upon them, will seek to stock up, as it were. Eat in abundance. Try to make up for this day of food that is lost. And the closer that sundown for the Day of Atonement becomes, the more desperate we become about food. The more conscious we are of sundown. Sundown suddenly takes on a special significance. Very special indeed. And people are ready to do strange things to the Shabbat because of no food for the next 24 hours. Some of us don't need food for the next Day of Atonement. For some could be extended a while without any loss of anything but perhaps pride and the idea of starving to death in a 24-hour period. Even our children are to be without food until sundown tomorrow night. And there's one thing about going without food for 24 hours. It makes you say, Yahweh. You may not be too conscious about Yahweh tonight, but about noon or early afternoon tomorrow, somewhere about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, even as late as 5 o'clock, it will seem to you as if the sun is never going to set. You begin to wonder if this is the day of Joshua, where you begin to say, oh, Yahweh, don't let the sun set still for another day. Yes, Day of Atonement will make you thankful, grateful for food. It will humble your haughty spirit. And suddenly the name Yahweh becomes real. And you don't seem to forget it. The more time that goes with this, the more you begin to remember the name Yahweh. And your children are going to come at you saying, I'm hungry. And you'll have to be able to tell your children, but it's Day of Atonement. And your kid may be old enough, smart enough to say, but I have not sinned. I'm too little. Well, Day of Atonement is to remind you to never sin. Day of Atonement as a point of unity comes about because it's a shared experience. We experience great joy during the Day of Atonement because we understand that we will be purged free of our faults and that we can begin a wonderful new year of morality and righteousness. That whatever wrong we did this year, we can ask Yahweh to forgive us. Seek the forgiveness of Yahweh. And whatever we neglected, our sins of omission, sin of commission, sin of ignorance, the unknown sins even, as you know by now, and some of you do not know, the Day of Atonement is observed on the 10th day of the 7th month, according to our solar calendar. And the purpose and the distinctive character of this day is to bring the collective sin of our nation, of all of our people, even in America and around the world, into remembrance, so that it may be earnestly dealt with and atoned for. And let us remember that some of Yahweh's righteous servants in the past, such as Job, always atoned for his children. Anybody recall reading that in Job chapter 1, verse 5. Let us turn to Job chapter 1, verse 5. Let's read verses 4 and 5. Read.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed Yahweh in their hearts." Thus did Job continually.
This indicates that those of us who are conscious of Yahweh, his laws, statutes, judgments, commandments, are responsible for the sins of our people. It is not enough for us to return to Yahweh and be satisfied in keeping his laws while the rest of our family members are dead to the knowledge of their Father Yahweh and dead to the knowledge of his laws, thereby are breaking them. So we become responsible for every one of our people in America and all of our people around the entire planet Earth who are breaking the laws of Yahweh. And you might ask, well, how in the world can we be responsible or held responsible for anyone other than ourselves? Deuteronomy 32, 2 and 3 will shed light on that reality. Verse 1 tells you that we have an incredible responsibility. Read.
Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth.
All right. See who we're responsible to? We are responsible for all who are in heaven and all who are on earth or in earth. We are responsible for all who are conscious of Yahweh, thus in heaven, conscious of Yahweh and obeying the laws of Yahweh, who are thus in heaven, keeping their minds stayed on Yahweh, enjoying perfect peace. Perfect peace is heaven. So those, we're responsible to them, making sure that they hear the law, and we're responsible for those of the earth, those who are carnal-minded, terrestrial-minded, who are suffering and languishing in death, because the ways of the carnal mind is what? Death. So we're responsible for all people who have an earthly mindset, as well as to those of us who are consciously keeping the laws of Yahweh. Now let us read the next 2 verses and see what our responsibility is and how we meet our responsibility to those in heaven and on earth. Read.
My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord Yahweh. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God Yahweh.
Now, what is our responsibility? Publishing the name. How many understand? Publishing what? The name. Am I publishing the name of Yahweh? Where in Dade County and Broward County and all am I publishing the name? All over? What do you see out in the public? Yahweh, the name, Yahweh, and my picture. All wherever you go, up and down in the street, you see somewhere, some corner, sometime, Yahweh. So am I keeping my duty? To publish the name? Can't keep the name inside and meet this responsibility of being responsible for all of our sons and daughters who may curse Yahweh. And there are people who have cursed Yahweh in their ignorance. There are people who have said in their ignorance, well, don't nobody like Yahweh too much. Now, when someone says nobody likes, not some, but some people don't like Yahweh, what are they saying? That some people don't like the sovereign one. Some people do not like the creator. Some people do not like the giver of all good and perfect gifts. Some people don't like the one that gave them life. It has to be an ignorant person that says that. Being able to say some people don't like Yahweh means at least one thing has happened. The name has entered their head. That is a monumental achievement. To have the people of the earth who don't like the name call it, have it in their head, can pronounce it correctly. And then, of course, on the other side of the fence are all these people that just love the name. Then you know when you publish the name all over the world and in the heavens, you're guaranteed to cause a lot of curiosity. And when curiosity is roused, people will begin to pick up their dictionaries, encyclopedias, and Bible dictionaries, and some people will begin to research and look up this name. And it means many things. For example, that my enemies and my opponents have no idea of how many people have taken hold to this name because I publish it, and they have learned for themselves some wisdom of the name, and have learned for themselves some of the power, and have respect and reverence for the glory, the honor, and the power in the name. And they have on regular street clothes. They have never worn white in their life. They may not own a white shirt. Yet they're walking around in love with Yahweh ben Yahweh, the name Yahweh. And I say that spells for a new day. It makes for a new day in America, and it shows the power of publishing. How many have seen the name Yahweh lately around town in the public? I guarantee you that my enemies are upset. And they try to take it down. And they come back out tomorrow and it's right back up. In fact, it may be two in its place. And they put in the public newspaper that they were going to crack down on politicians and people who have their signs up so that they would have the excuse to come against me. And I told my disciples that what you have just read in the newspaper is just to prepare the public for them to come after me next week. And they did. I have received letters now from the State Department, North Miami, Homestead, with my name on it. Homestead versus Yahweh ben Yahweh. For illegal signs being posted. I've received letters from somebody else too. Who was it? Transportation. And even their police officers who have on occasion stopped some of us and said it's illegal to put the signs up. We said, well, what about the politicians? They said, well, you know, they do it. So he said, well, we're going to have to take it down. I said, well, I guess you're going to take down all the politician signs too. And I guess that means you're going to take down some of these other signs that's been up on poles for now 2 or 3 years. Then they say, well, we only have three people in our department. I say, well, I guess you're going to have a hard time. That's what we said. Because we are not going for and will not sit still for selective enforcement, harassment, or persecution for something that we have proof everybody's doing. Yet, you know, they've done it, and we'll deal with it. Glory to Yahweh. We were warned by some of our friends in high places that they were talking about it and planned to do that. And we gained some wisdom on what to do. And we will be following the wisdom of what Yahweh reveals that we should do, because we know wisdom is a defense. Money they're not going to get, but wisdom is a defense. There's a few racist white supremacists sitting in high places, and those are the only ones writing those letters to us. In other words, they are upset that you, my people, number one, suddenly the name is everywhere, forces a controversy in the land because there is no truth or mercy in the land. Hosea 4:1, here's what they're upset about. Read.
Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Yahweh in the land.
By publishing the name, I'm reaching out for all of my family members to return to Yahweh, your normal, natural father, keep his laws, and if you come and listen to me, I will teach you how to move from poverty to riches. Your enemies do not want me to teach you how to move from poverty to riches. Do they know I'm able? Are they aware I know how? What's the proof? My works. So they know Yahweh ben Yahweh is not coming with a game. If I were coming with a game, I would be welcomed by everybody. But since I'm coming with the truth in the land, it means I'm coming with mercy. Where there is no truth, there is no mercy. Since I am the author of truth, I'm also the author of mercy. And since I come with mercy, I come with restoration powers. Verse 6, read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh. I will also forget thy children.
Proof of rejection is in verse 2. This is the condition of our people, that I come with mercy. Read.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood.
Verse 3, read.
Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish.
Thank you. See what the condition of America is? It's not only America, but the world is in this condition. What condition? They languish. The whole world mourns. Well, that was promised. At my coming, that was promised. That the whole world would mourn. Matthew 24:30. At my coming, the world is in terrible condition. Blood, they breaking out with lying, profanity, swearing, cursing, blood touching blood, killing each other, drawing blood of one another. Read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
That's going to take place October 7th. On October 7th, a sign is going to appear. Whose sign? My sign, Yahweh's sign. A sign shall appear, of the Son of Man. It's of me. Where? In heaven. That's where I live. I live in heaven. And when the earth see my appearance, and you better believe on October 7th, when I tell you the earth is going to be touched by me, the earth, nations are going to be touched directly by me. And then what's going to happen? Immediately, the whole what? The tribes of the earth shall rejoice. Why would the tribes of the earth mourn? At the appearance of my sign. All the games are up. I'm going to do that. I'm the only one who has it in the mind to do that. No one has the idea to do what I'm about to do. No one, if they thought about it, knows how to go about doing what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it in a perfect manner. And I'm going to do it in a sign of completion. And a baby is born in 9 months. And I'm going to speak in respect to the completion. And the number 9 will be prominent in what I have to say. And the earth will be touched. Whew, I'm trying to tell you. I don't wonder about this. Tonight you are hearing prophecy. Yes. I'm so determined to bring this off that as of this moment, I'm on a 21-day fast. I will eat no food for the next 21 days. Perfect sevens 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. And all of you that moan over the lack of food for the next 24 hours, and who are going to rejoice at sundown tomorrow, you remember that I have 21 days to go. I'm really going to do 21 full, complete days, and I will not eat until after the event, until I speak October 7th, which is on another perfect day, 7. And you might think it's an accident, but it's on purpose. Yes, I may lose an awful lot of weight, but it will all be for you and the elect. It won't be easy. And I may need some of your help to get to the stage, but I'll be there. I plan to drink fruit juice and nothing else. And this is one of the most serious periods of my life. And I have an awful lot to think about. I have an awful lot to consider. And those around me who know me just a little bit have to be somewhat frightened, to say the least disturbed. And some of you have plans for me after these 21 days. You may even have plans for yourself after these 21 days. And I can assure you, Yahweh really is God. And you are going to be best served if you accept that reality and let yourself be in accord with whatever Yahweh wills and decrees. And you'll find yourself at the marriage supper with me. But if you're going into this day of atonement with future plans to sin, you're in trouble. All of you hear me? This is not just another day. You can see the armies that I'm gathering together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, as I have taught you over the years. Which signals the end time. And there are 2 scenarios at this end time. One is Satan coming down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. But for those of us who have studied the words of Yahweh, know that at the same time, the wrath of Yahweh is going to come down. And when the wrath of Yahweh comes down, he is going to be the victor. And all people who fear Satan and who love the ways of the heathen are going to be cast out, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. And those of us that choose to keep and obey the laws of Yahweh are going to look upon the devils and the heathens that are left and say, is this the man that caused the nations of the earth to tremble? Is this the man who has been cut down and brought so low? Is he the one that we all thought could destroy? Yes, he has great wrath and he's ready to do it. You can tell he's ready to go. And I told you he's not going without a fight. But Yahweh is well able to fight. And I have a message on October 7th to the world. It's deeper and broader than what you might imagine. And all peoples will be there. Somebody from all of the people of the earth will be there. They're going to be there. And I have a message. There's only going to be one victor in this war of Armageddon. It gives those of us who have held on great faith and courage and great joy to watch what I have taught you over the years all come into pass. It lets you know Yahweh is real. And I warn all of us that you had better listen to what I'm saying and hear me well tonight. This is a time that talking to children and playing with your baby, you better put it aside and hear me. This day forward is not the time to put off keeping the laws of Yahweh. This is not the time to say, I'll keep the laws of Yahweh next year. Now is the time to atone and make your move now. You don't have the time to play that you've had from the beginning of my teaching up till now. Don't you know and realize and understand from the Word that this is not the time to let the cares of this world consume your mind? This is the period that could be most tempting to you, to let the cares of this world take hold of your mind. The thrills and the joys of this world. And you'll be more dedicated to the cares of the world than you are building the kingdom and keeping the law of Yahweh. And to do so is to forget the promise of Yahweh, wherein it is stated that people, and even some of you among me, will be like it was in the days of Noah, that just won't realize until destruction take hold of you and sweep you away. Some of you have come too far with me to let the enemy of materialism and lust and the cares of this world to grab hold of you and consume you away from salvation. You've shed too many tears to suddenly let your heart grow cold to the laws of Yahweh. You've made too many sacrifices to come up to the point that I walk in my marriage chamber and I look around at you with pain in my heart and say, get away from me, you are a worker of iniquity. I cannot allow your mindset in heaven. You will corrupt heaven with your mindset. Now is the time to give up your mindset and take on the mind of Yahweh and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. That's what this Day of Atonement is seriously about. There are too many of us who have grown kind of cool and our love for Yahweh and the word of Yahweh is waxing cold. You can find more time to dedicate days to your desire, and don't dedicate the same time to the study of the word and the law of Yahweh. You are too busy to set a weekend aside to where you do nothing but stay up day and night in the law. But you can stay up day and night doing things that have nothing to do with Yahweh. Don't you know you make Yahweh jealous when you do that? Yahweh is looking at you. Yahweh is watching you. You don't have time to set aside the same time that you have for pleasure for yourself, for pleasure in the word. Can't you see you're on the way to hell? You're on your way out from me. This Day of Atonement is a chance for you to make a new start, a new resolve, to come back to where you started from, to come back. It's a time where you can say to Yahweh, take me back, Yahweh. But when your heart and your mind is callous to what I'm saying now, and you set what I'm saying now aside in your mind, don't you see what's happening to you? That your lust is consuming you away from your Creator? Can't you see yourself? My love for you says, wake up. If there was ever a day and a time that you who are under the sound of my voice need to atone right now for all that you've done this year, if you miss it, go on and write up that you don't really want to be in heaven. Write it up now. When I let you know tonight that I'm going on a 21-day fast, several spirits manifested themselves here. And I felt you who have the Spirit of Yahweh within you absolutely calling out to me. And I could feel you. And I could feel your spirit saying, thank you, Yahweh. It's time. Some of you are saying, it's time. But not everybody here is saying, it's time. But then my message is not for everybody. It's only for you that want the straight and the narrow way. That's who it's for. I carry a terrible burden when I teach for 12 years, 10 to 12 years, and then I look out and see people who have just forgotten what I teach. I shared today some wisdom with 4 or 5 people who went into shock at the things that I have taught over the last 10, 12 years, and I let them see books and things that I taught as much as 6 and 8 hours a day on Shabbat. I used to teach like that. Every Saturday it was all day. Take a break and have a little lunch, and then we'd come back and just study the law, nothing but the law, just the word all day. And it was people, you had to love the word to do that. You had to love the word to keep coming and sit down all day long and just have your Bible open, and I just take you from word to word and scripture to scripture and educate you and open your eyes. You had to be in love with the word to come week after week and month after month. And I know it paid off because I'm looking out at your faces now. There are many of you that are still sitting here now, that when the words of Yahweh were found, joy and rejoicing entered your heart. Praise Yahweh. It is those teachings that gave you the foundation that you have, that holds you here in spite of the adversity. It is your sitting day after day and night after night and reading and coming into new understandings of the word that's holding you here now, that have caused you to say over the years, I come what may. The devil can shoot his best shot, and when he finished, I'll be standing. Some of you remember, some of you have forgotten, and you remember now that I'm bringing it to your attention. Some of you remember how you used to just take your Bible out and take it out and just underline and study and underline, and different ones of you would get together and you study and underline, and you go to your houses together and open up the Bible and just study together on your own. You just did that. Same book. I said same book. Same book. Same book. Same book. Why don't you pick it up? Why have you made an excuse to set it down? Why do you work so hard for me that you're too busy to read about me? Don't you know when you're too busy and you working so hard for me that you don't have time to pick up this book and your dictionary? You don't know what's happening to you? The devil works all day. Don't you know you can't fool me with telling me you working for me? I don't care if you wash clothes 22 hours a day. Every day of your life. And you spend the next 2 hours sleeping. I'm going to ask you one day, where's my word in you? When did you pick up my book? When you don't pick this book up, you're not picking me up. But you want me to believe you love me because you wash laundry 22 hours a day. For YU, for the Hebrews. You really think you have me fooled? I'm going to let you fool me up until I get ready to shut my door. And then I'm going to tell you, take your laundry washing behind to outer darkness. And may you enjoy washing clothes in darkness where there is no light, because you were too busy for me. You worked too hard for me. So hard, you never picked me up. Go ahead. Don't say then, remember how hard I worked for you? I pulled guard duty for you, Yahweh ben Yahweh, 22 hours a day. I only slept 2. You think I'm going to say, well done, my good and hard God-pulling servant? And when I ask you something about me, you can't tell me where it is? You don't even know how to find it in the concordance. And you don't find a joy from me? All I can do is warn you. What do I look like coming, forcing you to pick me up? This that I'm speaking tonight is good. It's good. It's not bad. The principle of what I speak transfers to all of your lives. I'm open. I'm straightforward. I'm being honest. You can clean my house and where I live 22 hours a day. And there's no dirt in it. And everything I have is clean and crisp, and my bed is clean and it's crisp. All my dishes are clean and it's crisp, and every little physical thing that I need is there, and you've done it all, but you don't know me. And if I bring up the word to you, you tell me you don't have time for that because you're too busy cleaning my house. I want it clean for you. I'd rather clean it myself and see you into my word than to see you do nothing but clean it and don't ever be into my word. Because if you're into my word, you're into me, and you'll be saved when you practice what you learn from me. But being into my bed, being into my house, being into my dishes, being into my closet is not going to save one of you. And I'm telling you, you can't fool me with all the work you do. If I don't see you into the word, you can't put it off on nobody else. It's every man's personal responsibility to pick up this book. I can't pick it up for you. Your mama can't pick it up for you. Your daddy can't pick it up for you. Job can pray for you because you may have cursed God in your heart. Job may pray for you as his child because you strayed. Job may atone for you. But I read with all of the atoning that Job did for all of his sons. Satan killed every one of them. Satan got every last one of them. Job was saved because he atoned. Job was saved because he was perfect. His sons were not perfect because he prayed for them. Just because I pray for you, I pet you, I help you, I bless you, that's not going to save you unless you perfect your own life. I'm telling you. I can see Job praying for his sons. And I can see Job's sons watching him pray for them. And I can hear Job's sons saying, my father Job is a perfect man. My father Job hates evil. So I'm going to feel safe in his prayer for me. I'm going to feel safe and secure in Job's atonement for me. Job was saved and his sons were killed by Satan. Why? Because they were content to watch Job be perfect while they refused to be perfect. I refuse to demand any one of you here to be perfect. I teach you perfection, and you have to choose for yourself to be perfect or imperfect. I'm not going to sit around and follow you to be perfect. I'm not going to waste 1 minute of my time following you nowhere on this earth to see and ensure that you be perfect. You will not be a part of my kingdom if I have to do that. I'm not looking for a society like the Islamic society where you have the women who have to wear long black garments and the world can't see nothing but their eyes, and the men don't allow them to speak to no man outside of the home, and where if the woman is caught in adultery, the man can kill her and not have any penalty and no trial. This is a situation of where women are forced to have the form of righteousness, but it's not in their heart. I'm not looking for a society where I have to force women to be right. I'm looking for the woman that wants to be right because she loves Yahweh and his law and it's right to be right. I am fully conscious that if I build a society where I have to have men guard the women for them to be right, I know they will corrupt the gods. They'll use their tool on the gods. Next thing I know, she's in charge of the gods. She'll have all the gods on the ships coming to get orders from her. No, I'm right. I don't need you to tell me I'm right. It's dangerous to try to build a kingdom with Eve. You aren't going to get very far with women who have an Eve mentality. This is not a female thing that I'm talking about. I know some of you all want to get off into the female bag. Oh, I'm not coming from that angle. What I'm talking about is a mindset thing. I'm not going to build a nation of women where I have to chaperone you. I'm looking for women that can't wait to get the rod of iron in her hand. Yes, that's who I'm looking for. You better hear me. I'm talking atonement tonight. I had one set of things to go here, but I'm off on a roll. I'm trying to tell you this is real. Some of you get all excited when I start talking about Eve, and so you want to get off into the female thing. I know, I see you. You're all ready to talk about Eve now. Eve. No. This is not physical. Eve had a mindset that received Lucifer's philosophy. And she not only received it, but practiced it. And we have 6,000 years of proof of how awful it is. The nations of the earth are being gathered in the valley of Jehoshaphat because Eve listened to Lucifer. So if you have a weak mind, just understand that you're not strong enough to lay a foundation in heaven. Your mind is not about laying a foundation in heaven either. Your mind may be about laying. Yeah, it may be about laying, but it's not about laying no foundation. Because you don't have nothing in your head that's of me, from me, that you are laying down for nobody. And tonight, I just want every one of you to know you're not fooling me. And it can be stressful when you take a good look at yourself. It can be frightening when you take a good look at yourself and you discover, I really see you. And you really don't want me to see you. And when you want to hide, I'll let you hide. That's my nature, because I'm your mirror. You understand? I'm all things to all people. And I remain Yahweh. I remain Yahweh. You think I'm of you. And you think you can direct me. You think you can influence my thought. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You think you can win. I'll let you talk and I'll shut up. You haven't won when I say shut. You lost. Because what do you have to talk about in the presence of God anyway? Unless you did 2 Timothy 2:15. Unless you can show me something that I approve of. When you're talking about something in my presence that you approve of, I'm not impressed, neither are you impressive. But I'll let you think you're impressive because you seek to impress me. But there's a payday coming, children. And all of you are saying, you talking to me? Who do you think I'm talking to? Your ghost? My God, Yahweh ben Yahweh. See, when the truth hits you, you want to put it off of you. Truth is like that. You want to try to get out from under it. Well, you couldn't be talking about this because I ran this by you and you didn't disapprove. What you want me to do? Make you slicker than you think you are? You already think you're slicker than grease. Why should I let you know I know you're not slick at all? You so slick, you think you can slick God. By saying, I know you, God. I know I'll slick you, God. And turn right around and try it. And you waiting for me to say, hey, I saw you. And if you do that, then you'll go back in your repertoire and try to come up with a slicker move. Oh, you got me on that one, huh? Wait till I go off in my hide bag on you. I got a bag of darkness that you can't figure out, boy. I got one. You know, inside the bag of tricks, inside the bag where the tricks are, it's dark in there. And every time you go into that bag for a new trick to try to trick me, see what you did? I told you why you love darkness. Why? These are what?
Evil.
Am I touching anybody tonight? You can't do Day of Atonement thinking you slick. And I've been making your lives here easier and easier to be right. I cut all the fat away from you having to try to be slick and deceptive. This is the Day of Atonement. Some of you don't recognize the Bible, but I'm talking from it. I'm bringing you all the way from the beginning up to the now in every aspect of your life. You can't lay me down and be safe. You got to love this book. You got to love what's in here. Some people don't have time to read this book. They work so hard for me, but I watch them looking at TV. Then started about, I watch you work all day here. I watch you work. You working for me. I'm working for Yahweh ben Yahweh. I put in 18 hours today for Yahweh today. Go home and watch TV. Didn't read no Bible all day. No word in their life all day. Don't even pretend. Don't even go get the Bible, pick it up and read 3 seconds and let it fall on their head and go to sleep. And you really think you fooling me. You fooling yourself when you don't pick up this book. Some of you hear the news and can't interpret it. And it's right in Yahweh Judges America.
Yes, Yahweh. Yes, sir.
It's in this book.
Yes, sir. Yes, Yahweh.
The details are right here. Some of you don't know what's in this book. You've read it and don't know what's in it. You feel because you read it and say, praise Yahweh, everything is all right. It's not all right unless you have this in your heart so you can keep up with what's going on. Some of you don't know what's going on. Haven't read it in years. This book will help keep your feet on the ground. Yeah, it will. Some of you haven't read this book but once. Because you say, I read it. But you know what'll make you, you know what'll cause you to start walking off and the word doesn't excite you anymore? It's because you haven't read this in a while. I wrote the book and I read it often. All I can do is tell you. What the books I wrote will take you back. Some of you have every article I ever wrote. When have you looked at them lately? They just as real today as when I wrote them. I don't take back nothing I taught. I'm just refined in what I do. How can I take back what I have taught? What I taught is the truth. I can't take the truth back and be the spirit of truth. As the spirit of truth, I have to continue in the truth. Anybody getting the idea that this is a solemn occasion?
Yes, sir.
You know what solemn means, don't you? Sacred, serious. When we, as Yahweh's people, through godly sorrow and atonement for our sins, enter into the rest of Yahweh's mercy and favor, then we know we are all right. We must have godly sorrow, not just sorrow. In receiving Yahweh's forgiveness, we can rejoice and carry out his commandments as prescribed in our Holy Bible. I said I was going to come out here tonight and just let you know I'm on a 21-day fast starting tonight, and that would be it. And I'm finding myself out here because I can't help myself. The Day of Atonement is all about Israel being reconciled to Yahweh. This reconciliation is absolutely necessary before Feast of Tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles prefigures the ingathering of all nations. And the ingathering of all nations requires us to have a spirit of being at one with Yahweh. I'm not asking any one of you in here to try to go 21 days with me. I'm able to draw down on my spirituality, and I'll only lose so much. But again, I remind you, I'm doing it for you, for the sake of my people and the elect. And they don't even know me. I'm sacrificing for people that don't even know me. That's how much I love you, and I love my people that don't know me. I always shed tears over all of my people, and they don't know me. Isn't that what Job did? Satan, I'm afraid Satan is going to get them. Take them on away. Unless they hear my message. They don't have any excuse about they don't know what I look like. Because people that I've never seen in my life are riding up by me waving. I mean, they'd be upset if I don't wave back. They just want to associate and wave. How many of you believe my picture that I'm known now when I drive out? We're talking about all nations coming to me. Prior to the gathering of all nations, the nation of Israel must be the example of perfection. The nation of Israel are those who become the examples of perfection. The nation of Israel are not necessarily those who sit in this building with white armor. It's you who choose to be an example in your lives by the life you live. How do you look dressed in white, walking out reflecting darkness? How do you look going someplace out in the city in white? Come back home at darkness. Change your clothes. Let your hair down. Huh? Put on some of those weird looking clothes. Put on one of your short dresses. If you got a long one, you put it all up around your, up around your tops up here, around your chest, so that your white dress is short. And then go drive off into the darkness to meet someone to do wickedness. And you think you have gotten away because you say, I'm in disguise. I don't feel like I can take off my culture and go do anything. I'm just talking about me. I cannot talk about you. I'm talking about me. And since that's the way I feel, I'm not about to do it. You can't get me to take off my culture and take off my diadem and fix my hair and go do nothing. Nowhere on this planet you can't get me to do that. And you have to feel real strange doing it. Then some people don't feel strange. They feel natural, almost like they free. It's like free at last. I'm into my element now. I'm natural born. I'm in a city, don't nobody see me. I'm clear. My hair's down, my hair's out. If I get out the car, I have on a short dress. Shoot, who knows me? Keep on trying it. You'll find out who knows you. You'll find out sooner or later the Spirit of Yahweh really is real. And boy, you're going to discover one day what you do in the dark. And that's when it's over. Yes, boy. Then you can't go back on what comes out in the light. Once the light shine on you, the jig is up. It's just plain up. So I'm looking for you who want to be righteous. Before we can rule with the rod of iron, we ourselves must be without fault and without blemish. Let's look at Revelations 2, verse 26, because this is what it's about. Read.
And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
Got it? Can you see the word? Maybe you need glasses. See it? It means you are under the rule of Satan now. You're under your taskmasters. And right now you seem to respond better to your taskmaster than to Yahweh. You will get up early for your taskmaster. You don't need your brother or your sister to wake you up to go meet your taskmaster. You don't go to bed and forget to set your alarm clock for the taskmaster. And you know not to be late for work for your taskmaster. And you know to give the taskmaster the hours he wants. And the taskmaster has already set all of his little rules down about how you can play with time in working for him. And you've learned those little games well. How much sick leave you can take. How you can match that sick leave to your week and a weekend and get a long weekend. And you know how to play with vacation time. How to match that to get a long weekend. Oh, you skilled at it. And you know just when to back up off of whatever will make the taskmaster upset. Work hard for the taskmaster. Huh? And it doesn't matter how hard the taskmaster is on you. You relish it. You may complain, but you'll be back in the morning early to give him another hard day's work. Won't you? You will be back. Respond well to a taskmaster, but not to yourself. Not for yourself. Huh? You don't have the same drive, though working for yourself pays more with greater benefits. But somehow it just seems like something's missing out your life when the taskmaster doesn't give you bricks to make without straw. But I'm talking about you who want to rule the nations with the rod of iron. It's a simple thing for you to do. Simply be the example of what? Righteousness. And there's nothing hard about it. But you do have to make up your mind that I want to live right. And if I hold you in my pen 24 hours a day and dress you up, you'll look right. And everybody that see you might think, that person is really right. It's only because you're caged up. The test is not while you caged up. It's when I open the door. And I say, now you are free to go in. You are free to go out my door and come in my door. I am the door. And as the sheep of my fold, you are able to go in and you're able to come out. That's where the test is. Now, once you step outside of my fold and outside my gate, outside of my door, you have to want to be right yourself now. Because what's outside of me? Wickedness, unrighteousness. Totally. And what are they going to try to do to you? Entice you to join them. Be one of them. And you that belong with me will come back in my fold. And that's where you'll rest. I'm not going to send the dog out after you. You know, the shepherd dog, the sheep dog. No. No, I'm not going to create a sheepdog for you. You have to be righteous on your own accord. And whatever you see that's wicked, you say no. You'll say no to wickedness. That's why we can be in the world and not of the world. It's not hard. It's not hard. You only have to make up your mind. Because you don't have to walk out of here to be wicked. Huh? You can be here, in here, around all of us, and be just as wicked. Wear white every day. But when you're not right inside, you don't really want to wear white all the time. You take every opportunity given to be dressed outside of righteousness. Your clothes is only symbolic of your head. Glory. Some of us wear white on special occasions. My subject is not white. Don't get excited. Some of y'all in different colors in here, relax. Because your clothes, the physical clothes, is not what I'm talking about. I keep trying to tell you, grow up. This is a mind thing I'm talking about. I keep telling you that people have on long white robes. Not right. Doing wrong every day. I keep trying to tell you, aren't you hearing me? So what does that mean? It means I also have people coming to me in three-piece suits that live a more righteous life than you that wear white. They're going to go on into heaven with me, and then they're going to put on white. Don't worry, one day they will. But I'm not looking for people to change their physical clothes. I'm looking for people who want to put on the clothes of righteousness. The garments of righteousness. That's your protection. I teach you to be without fault or blemish. Where is that?
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
See, this is not about you getting in the bathtub or taking a shower or getting in a jacuzzi. That's not the kind of washing that this is about. This is about washing with the word. I'm washing you with the word tonight. All the perfume in the world is not going to help you. You can go buy the most expensive cologne and the most expensive perfume and just spray yourself all over. And everybody around you will be saying, oh, you smell so good. We were trying to find it. Where'd you get that? And you're going straight to hell. Unless you accept the washing of the word. I'm sanctifying you with the word. I'm cleansing you with the word. I'm washing you with the water of the word. Why? In verse 27, read. Why?
That he might present it to himself, a glorious nation, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
In the place of church, you know that's nation. That's what I'm building. To present to someone else?
To yourself.
To present to myself. I mean, that's a hard thing to conceive. I come to a people who are dirty without the word, who are unclean without the word, who are unsanctified without the word, who do not qualify to present yourselves to me. You might like me a lot, but you don't qualify to present yourselves to me. You might love me a lot, but you do not qualify yourselves to come to me. So, I've come, born from you, cleaning you up, sanctifying you, washing you, removing all spots on you, taking away all the blemishes in you, to present you to myself. Do you understand how complex that is? I mean, it's like you come to present a gift to me, or you come to present something to me, or you come to, but I'm doing all this work to present you to myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It would really be convenient to have someone get you all cleaned up, washed up, powdered up, cleaned up, perfume, cologne down. And then say, here, Yahweh ben Yahweh, I present the gift of the nation of Judah redeemed. What a gift. I don't have such luxury. I come to a hard-headed group of folk, stiff-necked bunch of people. Head hard as a flintstone. Don't like nothing clean. Don't want their blemish removed. Love to be spotted up. Love to be dirty. Think dirty thoughts all the time. What? Think dirty continually. Their dreams and daydreaming is dirty. The visions they have are dirty. Dirty visions. If you have the power to do what you want to do, what would you do? It will all be dirty. I come to a people like this. Look at my job. I draw up the wash water. And they say, I don't want to get in there. It's too clean. Too hot for me. I cool it down. They say it's too cool. I make it medium. They say it's too medium. No matter how I fix the water, it's too soapy. You got too much detergent in there. You don't have enough chemical elements in this stuff. I've been dirty all my life. Don't be trying to wash me up. I come to a folk like that. And I reach out and grab you and you're squirming and pulling and fighting. Don't put you in the water, you jump out. Don't won't wash yourself at all. Jump out and run all over the house, water everywhere. Roll all in the dirt, roll all on the floor till you get dirty again. I don't like no clean stuff. I come and work hard among a people like this just to present you to myself. I hope that's not ego, is that? That has nothing to do with ego, does it? Work that hard? Ungrateful folk? I come to a people that tell me in the past, you go Yahweh, I'll go my way. The year of Jubilee has historically been proclaimed on the Day of Atonement. Jubilee is considered to be the year of freedom. So it's kind of clear here that and implicit that freedom will be ascertained in the year that perfection and cleansing has occurred. That's what I heard coming from your soul tonight. Your El was talking to me tonight when I said, I'm going on a 21-day fast, starting now, tonight. And I saw your souls rejoicing, saying, thank you, Yahweh. Thank you for sacrificing. Thank you for coming to get us to present us to yourself. Some of you are ready for the good life. Some of you are tired of hell. Some of you are tired of wickedness. Some of you are tired of having to lock yourself up in jail every night. You know, they call it bars and locks. Some of us long for the day when we can go to bed and sleep a peaceful sleep without the fear of someone breaking in on us. Some of us want such a day and a time to come. It comes when you make up your mind you want to be right. That you are tired of being wrong. You want to be holy. You want to be good. The year of the Jubilee occurs after the lapse of 7 times 7 years. It's 49 years. All perfect numbers, 7. So after 7 times 7 years, 7 years times 7 years, after that, the year of Jubilee. The year of freedom. We've been here 435 years. I hope I don't have to subtract 35 from 90 for it to become 490 years and drop to 0. We know from our calendar you have no such luxury. However, this lapse confirms that perfection and reconciliation to Yahweh are interrelated and intended. To be reconciled to Yahweh means to become one with Him, and therefore become one with Yahweh's law, become one with Yahweh's will. Yahweh's will is that we be perfect, holy, righteous, sanctified. Where do we find that? Matthew 5:48. Read Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Read.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect.
Clear? That's not something we just read and let pass now. We have to get serious about this, being perfect. Sometimes we want to get caught up in our little personal desires and let perfection slip. And then we want to tell other people how they ought to be, while our lives are not perfect. How can you tell someone else to be perfect and you don't want to be? Our observance of the Day of Atonement means that we believe in the laws of Yahweh. We believe that the cleansing of our sins is important. We believe that the forgiveness from Yahweh is what saves our lives. Having Yahweh to forgive us is important, and we believe that. We believe that the Day of Atonement is one of our foundation principles. We believe that the Day of Atonement is a grounds for our faith. We believe that the Day of Atonement is an act of redemption, that it has redeeming value. We believe that the Day of Atonement is in behalf of the covenanted people of Yahweh, the people to whom Yahweh made his agreement with at Mount Horeb and many other times in our history. We believe that the Day of Atonement is a time for prayer. Not just saying tefillah and don't know nothing about it. It's not a time where we just stand up and say tefillah, Avenu Shabashemai, Yikadesha Meaka, Tavo Makuteaka, Yeah, say Rizonka. And it don't have no meaning to you. You have no idea what each one of the words mean. You haven't really, it doesn't really permeate your brain one way or the other. You just learn how to say something and you don't have no idea what it is, and it's really not connecting to you. That's an empty prayer. But we believe Day of Atonement is an occasion for a solemn devotional prayer. We believe that Day of Atonement is a day of forgiveness, or a day to be thankful, a day of praise. We believe that Day of Atonement is an opportunity to be cleansed, to be washed in the water of the Word, to come out without spot or blemish. We believe that Day of Atonement is a time for us to pray for all of our people who are ignorant of Yahweh and his laws. Day of Atonement is a time to do as Job did. Pray for our relatives, atone for our relatives and our friends and those that walk in darkness, though they have no desire one way or the other that you atone for them. And if you probably told them, they might tell you, don't bother. Yet it is our responsibility. We believe that Day of Atonement helps us to realize the power of publishing the name Yahweh like the rain falling from the heavens and like the dew distilling upon the tender leaves of the tender grass. We actually believe that the publishing of the name of Yahweh is a mercy to the land. We believe that publishing the name of Yahweh, the Day of Atonement, and in publishing the name of Yahweh and the Day of Atonement is a reality that makes for the event of Feast of Tabernacles. We believe that Day of Atonement is a time for holiness and for becoming perfect, and that the Day of Atonement is a time for us to love the idea of becoming righteous and moral. We believe that Day of Atonement is designed to help us give up all immoral acts, immoral thoughts. Immoral acts follow immoral thoughts. We believe that the Day of Atonement is a time to eliminate corrupt mentalities. We believe that Day of Atonement is a time wherein we can be renewed in the spirit of our mind. Day of Atonement is a time where we can cast off the corruptible mind and take on the incorruptible mind. Cast off the old mind, take on a new mind. Day of Atonement means that I give up last year's mind and take on a new mind to go with the new year. Day of Atonement, we believe, Day of Atonement means I'm going to live a brand new life. We believe that Day of Atonement is decision time, decision-making time. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 15. Let's look at verse 45. Read.
And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
In verse 44, read.
It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body.
Verse 42, read.
So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
Are you hearing? Day of Atonement deals with the resurrection. Of who? The dead. The so-called black people of America are the spiritually dead who are in need of resurrection. Our lives in America prove that. But there's a problem. We are sown in corruption. Meaning what? Born. You were conceived in corruption. And what does that mean? It means that in your home, the first thing you learn from your mother, from her breast, the words whispered in your ear are all corrupt. All those around you that picked you up and hugged you and said, goo, goo, goo. Chichi, 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 chichi. Wasn't that stupid? It was also corrupt. All you learned was corrupt. And the Day of Atonement is designed to raise you incorruptible. And we believe that. The purpose of the Day of Atonement is to resurrect us from corruption to incorruption. That we cross over from corruption over into incorruption. That's what being a Hebrew is. In verse 23, you find out you were really conceived in dishonor. But Day of Atonement will raise you to glory. What's my proof? Day of Atonement is to give up your sin, be forgiven for your sins, so you can become what? Righteous. Now let's look at what righteousness does for a nation.
Proverbs 14:34.
Keep your hand on Corinthians. Come right back. I'm not finished. Now we turn to what?
Proverbs 14:34.
Proverbs 14:34. Read what righteousness does.
Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people.
Righteousness does what? Exalts. What does exalt mean? To raise on high, to elevate you. Day of Atonement is designed, back to 1 Corinthians now. Day of Atonement is designed to raise you to a state of righteousness. And look what righteousness does. It exalts, raises on high above all other people. And that's what Day of Atonement is all about. So, what are we seeing? Though you are born in dishonor, you're being raised what? In glory. It's verse 43. Verse 43, you're being raised in glory. That means everybody is going to look up to you, bless you, help you. Their forces will flow to you. That's your immediate reward. It's happening now, children, 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 children.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen